In the heart of West Africa, a brewing conflict between Niger and Benin threatens to destabilize the region, drawing in global powers like China and France. This dispute is more than a local issue. It's a complex narrative of economic dependency, political upheaval, and international stakes. The crisis started in July 2023, when a military coup in Niger overthrew President Mohamed Bazoum, disrupting the nation's oil exports, which are critical for its economic health. With Niger being a landlocked country, its economy relies heavily on a 2,000 km pipeline through Benin to the port of Cotonou on the Atlantic coast. The coup not only shook the political foundation of Niger but also strained its economic lifeline. Prior to the political upheaval, the pipeline was a vital artery, transporting around 20,000 barrels of oil daily, with plans to scale up to 90,000 barrels per day. This vital resource, built with substantial Chinese investment, highlights the intricate web of international dependencies in the region. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, a regional union of 15 countries, quickly condemned the coup and imposed sanctions. Benin, aligning with ECOWAS, supported these measures and even threatened military intervention to restore democratic order in Niger. In retaliation, Niger's military government closed its borders with Benin, setting off a chain of economic disruptions for both countries. Benin, which traditionally exports staple goods to Niger, saw a sharp decline in revenue and a spike in food prices due to the border closure. In a countermove, Benin blocked Niger's oil exports through its port, using this as leverage to pressure Niger into reopening the borders and normalizing relations. However, this strategic blockade has also deepened economic strain within Benin, illustrating the fragile balance of economic interdependence between the two nations. Adding to the complexity, international powers like China and France are heavily invested in the region. China, the second largest investor in Niger after France, has poured billions into infrastructure projects, including the crucial oil pipeline. Despite the political turmoil, China continues to engage with Niger's military leaders, highlighting the strategic importance of its investments. France, with its historical influence in West Africa, maintains significant military and economic ties with both Niger and Benin. Allegations of French military deployment in Benin to counter Niger's military government have fueled anti-French sentiment in Niger, although France denies these claims, calling them part of a disinformation campaign. The suspension of oil exports to China and the blockade of the pipeline have severe economic repercussions for Niger, which relies on oil revenue for economic stability. The current impasse threatens to derail the nation's fragile economy. In Benin, the blockade has disrupted trade and increased the cost of goods, leading to public discontent and demands for a swift resolution. This dispute transcends bilateral issues and impacts the broader West African region's economic framework. The interconnectedness of regional economies means that disruptions in trade routes can have a ripple effect across neighboring countries, jeopardizing regional stability and prosperity. Recognizing these stakes, ECOWAS has stepped in to mediate, emphasizing the need for a peaceful resolution through dialogue. Despite the sanctions and threats of military intervention, the preferred outcome remains a diplomatic solution. Both Niger and Benin have vested interests in resolving the dispute. For Niger, reopening the pipeline is critical for economic survival. For Benin, stabilizing its economy and reducing the cost of goods is essential. Public opinion in both countries underscores the urgency of resolving this dispute. In Niger, citizens demand swift action to alleviate economic hardships, while in Benin there are calls for transparency and fairness in conflict resolution. Regional analysts stress the importance of collaboration and diplomacy, highlighting the delicate nature of economic ties in West Africa. The resolution of this conflict has far-reaching implications beyond immediate economic concerns. It serves as a precedent for handling similar disputes in the future, shaping the geopolitical landscape of West Africa and influencing international investors' strategies in the region. The actions of China and France in this context are closely monitored, reflecting their broader strategic interests and investments. The ongoing saga underscores the critical intersection of economic interests, political maneuvering, and international involvement. As both nations navigate this complex terrain, finding a resolution demands careful negotiation, diplomatic finesse, and a commitment to long-term stability over short-term gains. The outcome will not only impact Niger and Benin but also set a precedent for future regional conflicts. Niger's economy is heavily dependent on its oil exports, making the pipeline through Benin a vital economic artery. The country's reliance on this single export route underscores the vulnerability of landlocked nations in the global economy. Before the coup, Niger was on a trajectory to significantly increase its oil export capacity, aiming to boost production from 20,000 barrels per day to an ambitious 90,000 barrels per day. This expansion was poised to enhance Niger's economic stability and development prospects. The pipeline project, heavily funded by Chinese investments, is not just an economic lifeline for Niger, but also a strategic asset for China. Over the past 2 decades, China has invested billions of dollars in Niger's oil industry, aiming to secure a steady supply of oil for its growing energy needs. This investment is part of China's broader strategy to strengthen its foothold in Africa, securing critical resources and expanding its influence. However, the military coup in Niger and the subsequent geopolitical turmoil have jeopardized these plans. The closure of the pipeline has halted oil exports, depriving Niger of a crucial revenue stream and putting additional strain on an already fragile economy. For China, the disruption poses a risk to its investments and highlights the geopolitical risks associated with resource-dependent investments in politically unstable regions. France's involvement in the Niger-Benin dispute is rooted in its historical ties to the region. As a former colonial power, France has long maintained significant political, economic, and military influence in West Africa. This influence is evident in its extensive investments and military presence in both Niger and Benin. The current dispute has exacerbated anti-French sentiment in Niger, with allegations that France has secretly deployed troops in Benin to counter the Niger junta. These allegations have fueled tensions and contributed to the narrative of foreign interference in domestic affairs. France, however, has denied these claims, labeling them as part of a disinformation campaign. France's strategic interests in the region are multifaceted. Economically, France has a significant investments in Niger's uranium mines, which are crucial for France's nuclear energy program. Militarily, France has deployed troops in the Sahel region as part of its counter-terrorism operations. The stability of Niger and Benin is therefore critical for France's broader strategic interests in the region. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has played a pivotal role in addressing the Niger-Benin dispute. As a regional political and economic union, ECOWAS aims to promote economic integration and political stability among its member states. In response to the coup in Niger, ECOWAS condemned the military takeover and imposed sanctions, signaling its commitment to upholding democratic governance in the region. ECOWAS's mediation efforts are crucial in navigating the complex political and economic landscape of the dispute. The organization has a vested interest in maintaining regional stability and preventing the conflict from escalating into a broader crisis. By facilitating dialogue and promoting a peaceful resolution, ECOWAS aims to safeguard the economic interdependence and political stability of its member states. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the Niger-Benin dispute are ongoing, with both countries recognizing the need for a peaceful resolution. For Niger, reopening the pipeline and resuming oil exports is critical for its economic survival. For Benin, restoring trade relations with Niger is essential to stabilize its economy and reduce the cost of goods. Public sentiment in both countries reflects the high stakes involved. In Niger, citizens have demanded swift action from their government to resolve the dispute and alleviate economic hardship. In Benin, there is a growing call for transparency and a fair resolution to the conflict. Protests and demonstrations in both countries underscore the urgency of finding a solution that addresses the concerns of the people. The dispute between Niger and Benin has far-reaching implications for the broader West African region. The economic interdependence of countries in this region means that any disruption in trade routes can have a ripple effect, impacting not only the economies of Niger and Benin, but also those of neighboring countries. The potential for regional instability is a significant concern for ECOWAS and the international community. The involvement of global powers, like China and France, further complicates the situation, as their strategic interests are at stake. Diplomatic efforts are underway to resolve the dispute and restore normalcy. ECOWAS is likely to play a crucial role in mediating between Niger and Benin, given its mandate to promote economic integration and political stability in the region. The bloc has already imposed sanctions on Niger and threatened military intervention, but a peaceful resolution through dialogue remains the preferred outcome. Both Niger and Benin have a vested interest in resolving the dispute. For Niger, reopening the pipeline and resuming oil exports is critical for its economic survival. For Benin, restoring trade relations with Niger is essential to stabilize its economy and reduce the cost of goods. The challenge lies in finding a mutually acceptable solution that addresses the concerns of both countries while maintaining regional stability. The resolution of this dispute will likely set a precedent for how similar conflicts are handled in the future. Economists and regional analysts emphasize the importance of collaboration and diplomacy in resolving the dispute. The conflict serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of economic ties in West Africa and the need for cooperative mechanisms to manage disputes. As we monitor the developments in this dispute, it's essential to remember the broader implications for regional stability and international relations. The involvement of global powers like China and France adds another layer of complexity, emphasizing the global interconnectedness of local conflicts. If you found this analysis informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth discussions on international diplomatic events and geopolitical dynamics. Your engagement helps us bring more nuanced perspectives to the forefront. Stay tuned for more updates on the Niger-Benin dispute and other significant geopolitical events. Your participation is crucial in fostering a well-informed community. Share this video with others who might be interested in the complexities of international relations, and let's work together towards a more informed and engaged world. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Africa's geopolitical landscape. Stay informed, stay engaged, and see you in the next video.